Welcome to the Midnight Bible Study. Things are getting, things could get really bad in the Middle East in the next 48 hours. As you're probably aware, the Israelis uh, hit the Israeli embassy, or the Iranian embassy in Syria, Damascus. Pretty much leveled it and took out all of their top military guys. 5 of them, highly damaging to their command structure. And so now, according to the CIA, they have evidently intelligence that they've warned Israel that Iran may unleash a major attack in the next 48 hours. Now, Iran has a massive payload of missiles that they can unleash on Israel, and it could be devastating. We'll see what happens, but that could cause a lot of damage, and it's hard to say that their Iron Dome missile defense system can handle all of that. So it could be devastating, and at the same time, Israel is not going to stand back and just allow for their own destruction. So I think right now, in fact, I would argue that there was a great threat of this anyway, but now I think this really escalates the possibility of Israel taking action on Iran's nuclear facilities within very soon. It could be very soon, because the danger now, they're being threatened by Iran with missile attacks. You're not going to want those. You're not going to want to stand back and allow their nuclear defense, their nuclear facilities to remain intact under that environment. When Iran has declared they want genocide. They want Israel to non-exist as a state. So here's the latest. CIA has warned Israel that Iran may unleash a major attack on Israel within 48 hours. It's currently Thursday, April 4th, 2024. We'll see what happens. Israel is on the highest alert. They've recalled many reservists of their military. The Israelis are jamming GPS signals across Israel, and it's the first time they've done that in Jerusalem. And that is a new development. That's a major new step, and that's to throw off any GPS-guided missiles and drones. And the Israeli Air Force is on the highest alert. So this is serious business right now. The next 48 hours they're on high alert. They're on their highest alert, and it brings up the Jeremiah prophecy. Jeremiah prophecy occurred 2,700 years ago, yet it's playing out now. It's playing out now in 2024, even though this was prophesied by 2,700 years ago by Jeremiah. And Jeremiah 49:34 seems to deal with what is presently taking place inside of Iran. So you have a very tense situation inside of Iran, and this could play right into it. This could actually escalate and speed up this prophecy exponentially, like almost an immediate threat. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's certainly, I would say the chance of this happening is higher now than it was yesterday. And I don't know how much more reason Israel would need than the fact that they now have intelligence that Iran is planning a massive missile attack on them within 48 hours. So let's take a look at Jeremiah. What he said about what is this the nuclear prophecy of Iran, and how could this play out? And while I said this could be devastating for Israel, this could also be quite devastating for Iran. And ultimately, Iran's going to be the long-term loser. Now, both parts of the prophecy are now occurring, independent of today's news. Jeremiah 49:34 states, alludes to Iran's military action, specifically its nuclear and ICBM missiles, intercontinental ballistic missile program. Jeremiah 49:38 then shifts the focus to Christians within Iran. Iran has the world's fastest growing population of Christians despite intense persecution. So here we have a situation that's related to a prophecy 2,700 years ago, and it's taking place right in Iran, where exactly where it was supposed to. Now, in Iran, obviously, Christians are persecuted in Iran. So typically in places like that, they have home churches. Home church movements have begun all over Iran, providing deep fellowship that has helped many Iranian believers to remain firm in their faith despite great persecution. This is part of the problem. This is part of what has outraged God in this prophecy. According to persecution.org, Iran's regime has even sentenced some to death under charges of apostasy and despise threatening its Islamic system. And Jeremiah 49:34 reads, the word of the Lord that came to Jeremiah the prophet against Elam in the beginning of the reign of Zedekiah king of Judah, saying, now Elam is a key word there. The word of the Lord that came to Jeremiah the prophet against Elam. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, I will break the bow of Elam, the chief of their might. Now the Elam prophecy. No, Jeremiah's prophecy, again, 2,700 years ago, it is playing out now. Elam is part of the modern Iran that borders the Persian Gulf. Elam is the location of Iran's Bushehr nuclear reactor. It sits on the convergence of 3 tectonic plates. That was a great idea. Let's build our nuclear plants on the convergence of 3 tectonic plates. If that's not a nuclear disaster waiting to happen. All right. Also, Iran has contracted with Russia to construct several more of these nuclear reactors in the area. That shows you how close Russia and Iran have become. Not to mention the fact that you've got Iran selling tons and tons of unarmed aerial UAVs to Russia. They're even helping set up a factory in Russia. So they're very close. Their economies are tied together. Russia's taken the side of Iran. I mean, the problem with that is now that looks. We also have on a side note, we have Russia moving troops within Syria to the Golan Heights. So all of this looks like the Gog-Magog war which is the end times war with Russia leading the coalition against Israel. That is, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying it certainly looks like it. Okay, it looks like a lot of things are just piling up that could make it happen. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. Maybe it won't happen, but it could happen. It certainly could. The things are, if it was a chess game, you'd say things are lining up for the checkmate. Although sometimes, so it looks like they'd have everything is lining up for a checkmate against Israel, an absolute devastating coalition coming. I mean, Israel, a tiny little nation, against the might of not only Iran and Turkey, but also Russia and a number of other African nations. All of them are going up against little Israel. It's like, talk about David and Goliath. But if they're lining up the chess players, keep in mind there's a painting in the Louvre, and it has Mestamophenes. If I've got this right, you've got the devil, and you've got the one who sold his soul to the devil, and the devil's got him in a checkmate. There's only one problem. There's one more move. There's one more move that can absolutely turn the tables and foil the devil. So, in that case, that's exactly the situation in this war with in the Gog and Magog war. Were that to break out, it may look like Israel has no hope, but they've been in that situation before, and ultimately, we've read the end of this. We've read the end of the book. They're going to lose it. God's going to foil the invaders. All right. Ezekiel states that The Lord is going to uphold his holy name through his people, Israel. But if Iran nukes and destroys Israel prior to this end times war, the Lord's plan to uphold his holy name through Israel would be impossible. Ezekiel 39:7, okay, would not be fulfilled in that case. In that case, the Lord, rather than Iran, would be humiliated. In other words, Iran is putting themselves in a position to humiliate God. You want to go to war against God? Good luck with that. That would be the dumbest thing you could possibly do. But that's exactly what if they were to turn to nuclear weapons, that's exactly what they would be doing. And you could even argue, even without nuclear weapons, just going to war against Israel, they're putting themselves in that position. So this puts Iran on a collision course with disaster. Jeremiah 49:35 reads, "Thus saith the Lord of hosts, Behold, I will break the bow of Elam, the chief of their might." That's pretty clear. I wouldn't want to be in Elam sitting on 3 tectonic plates surrounded by nuclear reactors. Why would God be angry at Iran? Well, obviously, if they're threatening massive military missiles and UAV retaliation against Israel, they're threatening to destroy Israel. They're setting themselves up against God. But consider 2 reasons. First, in Iran, converting Christianity today is a guaranteed path to severe persecution. So in Iran, you become a Christian, it's guaranteed. You're on a guaranteed path to severe persecution. Second, Iran has threatened to wipe Israel off the map. These two reasons put Iran at odds with God. That is, well, the result of going to war against God will be a massive disaster for Iran. Jeremiah 49:36 reads, "And upon Elam will I bring the 4 winds from the 4 quarters of heaven, and will scatter them toward all those winds, and there shall be no nation whither the outcasts of Elam shall not come." The 4 winds, a symbol of utter hopelessness. The people of Elam will be scattered to all the nations worldwide. If that happens, you know that Iran has been devastated. Jeremiah 49:37, "For I will cause Elam to be dismayed before their enemies, and before them that seek their life. I will bring evil upon them, even my fierce anger, saith the Lord, and I will send them the sword after them, till I have consumed them." So bottom line is Iran will be humiliated and beaten down by its enemies. And as of today, it's declared massive, the CIA is warning of massive Iranian retaliation against Israel. That would be with missile and UAV attacks. Now, is the CIA right? Well, they've been pretty good on just a couple of weeks ago. They predicted the attack in Moscow, and they were right on that one. So I would say this is the chances of them being right is, I would be worried if I was. I mean, there's a reason why Israel is on its highest possible alert right now. Jeremiah 49:38, "And I will set my throne in Elam, and will destroy from thence the king and the princes, saith the Lord." You be careful. You want to be careful who you mess with, especially if it's God. Jeremiah 49:39, "But it shall come to pass in the latter days that I will bring again the captivity of Elam, saith the Lord." Alludes to the return and restoration of the dispersed Iranians possibly at some future time. Those that fled the area when the disaster occurred. When did the disaster occur? I don't know. That could be next week. I mean, it could be tomorrow. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying Israel is suddenly being threatened by Iran with a major attack. They may take actions based on self-defense. It's certainly been in their minds to do something about Iran's nuclear facilities ever since Iran said that they wanted to wipe Israel off the face of the map. So all of that is problematic. And the next 48 hours are going to be a key time to watch and see what happens. Say prayers for Israel. Pray for Israel. The Bible says, I will bless those who bless Israel, and I will curse those who curse Israel. I don't know which side of that you'd want to be on, but I'm going to be praying for Israel. God bless you. Good night from the Midnight Bible Study.